right now I am a professional competition shooter. Basically, I'm sponsored by a few companies. I travel all across the U.S. to shoot and compete. I shoot three gun, USPSA. I dabble a little bit in Steel Challenge and IDPA, but mainly USPSA is where I'm at. I shoot Glock competition Glock 34. I shoot an AR 9mm. Let's see. Again, last year I probably traveled to about 12 different states like Utah, Arizona, Idaho, Tennessee, Nebraska, Texas, all over the dang place to shoot. So we do these big competitions all across the world. It's all world renowned. Shoot a lot of local matches too. You'll probably see me. I'm usually kind of winning a lot of the local matches. Sometimes it's like if I'm on my A game, like I'm definitely gonna kill it. But there's always somebody that's better than you every now and then. But won a lot of matches, traveled across the country. Before all this, I was actually a big airsofter. I played airsoft for about 15 years. I started working at that company Airsplat for about 4 years. I ran my own paint or airsoft park, which was Jungle Island. And yeah, I've just been shooting for a long time. Basically, the airsofter turned pro shooter.
At Pack City, just crushes everything.
Oh, yeah, and airsoft. It's airsoft. Yeah, it's kind of cheating for me. But I mean, I love to compete. So even if it's airsoft, like I'll always go back and I'm like, dude, this stuff's fun. Gets your heart going.
So for the viewers at home that don't know the format of this competition, most of these practical shooting associations and competitions, it's exactly that. It's practical shooting. You get to run around. You get to shoot from barricades, shoot different targets, moving targets, steel targets, paper targets, and you're scored based on time. Overall time, I think you get penalties for like outside of A zone or B zone hits.
Yeah.
So it's really dynamic. There's a lot of moving, and you really got to be in shape to do it. So Daniel's here joining us with that, which is amazing. I've never got to see a whole lot of your competition, but from what I heard from some of the guys at the shop is, yeah, you just pretty much dominate all the local scene. What was the last competition you shot out of state? Just curious.
Last one I shot was last November. It was in Arizona, which is called the Area 2 Championship in Rio Salado. I believe I came in second place in master class. So for all the masters shooters that were all PCC, I came in second for that. Overall, there's a lot of guys that use open guns, like the Open 2011s we were talking about.
Right.
They get scored higher, so they generally get up a little bit higher. But I think I got, I don't know, like 10th or 11th overall out of all like 300 people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the last time. Before that, we were in Utah. It was in September for nationals.
Okay, cool.
And, same thing. Got second in my class again. I'm always falling just one short of first, but wait, don't stop practicing.
So about practice. For anyone wanting to get in competition shooting, we're gonna dial it back a little bit, and we're kind of gonna. One of the things I want to ask you is for a new shooter or an airsofter getting into real steel, with KWA's new kit coming out. What's a go-to drill that someone can do from their backyard or in their garage? What kind of target setup? What kind of, do you recommend a shot timer? Do you recommend just plinking? So what's something that the viewers can put together and start right away and actually practicing some sort of marksmanship or technique?
So there's actually a lot you can practice. The main thing I would recommend first is learning the draw. The draws, like try to get that draw exactly like you said with the par time or an actual like timer. Get a timer, because a timer, if you set it up for like a 1 second par time, you have a second to draw. The faster you get at that, so start off at 3 seconds, mainly trying to find your sights and your target. The faster you get on the draw, that's everything. Because when it comes to like competition shooting, like every single second counts.
Yeah.
If you mess up somewhere, somebody else won't, and now you drop from third place down to 16th because you lost a couple seconds. Yeah. So work on your draw. If you're outside in the backyard, and if you have multiple targets, try working on getting your sights, your grip, everything pointed at the middle of the target. Move to the next one. Keep going back and forth, just to get your eyes set on always moving and never staying steady. Like a lot of people that go to, like, let's say the indoor range, you just stand there and you shoot. This kind of shooting is a lot more thinking, because you have to, for one, once you hear that timer, your heart's going to be racing. So it's almost like the Men in Black button where it wipes your memory.
Yeah.
So you might have had a good plan, then that thing goes off, and then it's all out. So work on target transitions, getting your eyes, your sights, everything dialed in before that gun even points out there. Get that down, get your draw down, and mainly is just relax. A lot of people like to watch like YouTube videos, like, oh, that guy goes super fast. I want to go as fast as him. Don't do that. It's like something my dad told me years ago. Accuracy first, speed later.
Right.
So mainly get accuracy first. Once you have your accuracy down, then work on speed. You put two together after a good amount of practice, you'll be pretty damn fast.
Talking about distances, what would you say is a good distance to start? Because I know a lot of this practical shooting, if you're behind if you're shooting to the side of a wall, some targets could be like a few feet in front of you, or 10, 15 yards down. What's a good medium to start, you think, in a backyard?
In a good backyard, it depends. If you're using an actual normal size target, I'd say like a really good point is 20 feet.
20 feet?
Yeah, I would say 20 feet, because that will it'll make you think about how far that target is. It'll kind of slow you down. It'll make you aim a little more. But the faster you get at aiming, presenting, pulling the trigger, you can still shoot that target as if it was right in front of you.
Gotcha.
But the main thing is if it's farther, that'll teach you to slow down, aim, pull the trigger when you're in the middle. Right. But once you start getting faster and faster at it, you'll be more confident to tame the recoil and shoot twice at that same exact distance as if you would if it was right in front of your face. So about 20 feet should be pretty good.
So 20 feet. So what about with airsoft? What would you suggest there?
Same. I would still do the same. Yeah, because even airsoft might not have as much kick, but that little BB will definitely travel 20 feet pretty fast.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, if you get fast at pulling the trigger that far distance, anything up close you'll be pretty deadly with. And I've got my KWA Mark II right here as well. First thing is, obviously learn how the gun works. If it's your first gun, you don't know what it is, learn how it works. Learn exactly what everything does. Like, hey, what's this button do? You push it, like, oh, okay, that drops the mag. Obviously, like, you want to learn everything. This is your trigger. These are your safeties. On a 1911 style, the safety will never engage until the hammer's back. There's a lot of things that you should learn about your gun. Like when I bought my first gun, I researched the crap out of it. I knew everything about it inside and out before I even got it. So I knew what I wanted. But even still, if you're just buying something to play with at home, like these little 1911s are badass. Like they work just like real guns. They still recoil. If they shoot, they'll actually. Okay, that was dead. But actually, Michael.
Yo, quick question. You were talking about from the draw, and most competitive shooters have some sort of competition style rig for a holster. Do you have any 1911 holsters that have you tried it with our 1911 yet?
Yeah, I have. Yep, it fits in a regular, as long as you have a railed holster, because these 1911s have that little front rail.
Right.
So there's actually, if you use a Springfield TRP with rail holster, so it's a real Springfield, it's called a TRP. There's a half rail and there's a full rail.
Yeah.
The half rail holster, it fits right in it, just like a real one. So even if you have a 1911 that your grandpappy has or whatever, he's got a leather holster at home or something, this gun will fit in it. So they're literally the same exact spec as a real gun, and they shoot little BBs, but they work the same. Yeah, any 1911 holster, but it has to be railed, will fit this. And it works fine. Like I could draw this like I would normally. I have mag pouches for 1911s that fit my real ones that still fit these. Yeah, everything works the same.
Yeah, the profile of the mag, the single stack magazine for 9mm 45 is really close to the KWA one. The other thing I wanted to point out was you did mention drawing from a holster. If you're a new shooter and you don't have a holster, it's actually not a big of a deal, because there's a lot of competitions out there that sometimes you start with your rifle in a bucket or a pistol on a table. Daniel, you want to explain some drills or some courses that sometimes you have to go out and pick up your gun from a certain, like a special area, or because it's not always on your body, right?
Yeah, not every time. Sometimes it'll be like we have like tables or barrels or whatever you're going through. Like usually like in USPSA or kind of IPSC, what a lot of guys in the airsoft world called it. But there's a lot of table starts where your gun will literally just be sitting there. It'll be sitting there. It might not be loaded, so there's nothing in the chamber. The hammer's not back. So if anything, if you're sitting at home, this is good too. If you actually want to use it as a home defense gun, if you want to get used to that, put this on your nightstand, put it somewhere close to your head. You imagine your front door getting kicked in. How fast can you grab that gun, cock it, present it, point it, shoot it? Like, right. So when you're sitting there, it's obviously safe, especially on these guns, because these guns have really light triggers. It's always safe if you start getting more practice to leave the gun cocked with one in the chamber, put your safety on, and the gun will never go off. So if something was to happen, especially for me, if I'm sitting right next to my bed and my table is right next to me, I grab the gun, take it off safe, shoot it. It's that fast. So if you're at home, just practice grabbing the gun. Remember, keep your finger off the trigger until you're actually point at somebody, because you don't want to grab the gun and just shoot up in the air and just scare yourself. And now whoever's at the door just got to you. Like, every second counts when it comes at the house too. But yeah, practice grabbing this thing. Just sit there, sit on the table, grab it. Don't be scared to grab it. But remember, these guns have a safety. Keep that safety on when you're not using it. Turn it off, shoot. It's that easy. But yeah, just grab it.
That builds on, I think one of the most undervalued kind of low-key aspects of gun ownership is you got to get comfortable with it. It's a tool that you use that you have to learn the nicks and knacks of it, how it feels, how it draws, how it feels when you squeeze a certain way, how far your arms want to be, how tight you want to bring up your shoulders, to your neck as you're aiming. So Daniel can tell us how the comfortability and the repetition you do. The more you do it, the more proficient you can become. So
yeah. You want to go first? Or want me to go first?
I'll go first. So, it's kind of weird. Before I got to airsoft, I owned quite a bit of real guns, and to me, it was the very basic techniques I wanted to learn and carry it over to different styles of guns. Eventually, you'll realize all 1911s are exactly the same. The thumb safety's in the same spot. The manual safety's in the same spot. The slide stop's in the same spot. Same with polymer striker fire guns. Everything from Glocks to MMPs to Springfield Armory XDs. They're all pretty much, they're all similar to each other. So if you learn the basics, it's easy to carry it over. I think the easiest way to describe it is if you've driven one stick shift car, you just kind of got to get another stick shift car. You kind of got to get the feel, and then it becomes easy. So that was my focus. I didn't focus on one platform. I kind of bounced around and figured out what I liked before I settled down on something. What about you, Daniel?
Yeah, so when I first started shooting, I was young. I was 21. I just got my handgun. I went in there looking for a Glock 17, but the guys didn't have any. So the old man there, he's like 60. He's like, dude, get a 45. Like, that 45 is what killed the Nazis. Like, that's all you want. I'm like, okay, sure. I want to buy some today, so I guess I'll get that. Yeah. Dude, that thing at that time was terrible. Like, I was the only guy competing with the 45. I was like, everybody's watching me, like, the gun's just like literally trying to leave my hands. I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
Oh, man.
It took me like 6 months to learn the actual right grip, and then that gun started working fine. But then again, like, 45 cost so much, so I got rid of it eventually. Yeah. But yeah, it took me about 6 months just to learn how to shoot it. And it took me 2.5 years to actually get as fast as I am now. Because back then it was what I implemented, like accuracy first, speed later. Right. So as I started competing more, I got a little bit more faster. But yeah, and then when it came to the guns, like, Glocks was always my favorite because I used to play with the airsoft Glocks all the time. Like, that was my main gun. Yeah. Even when I used to play at my field, like, I'd wreck everybody. That's all I'd run was a little Glock airsoft gun with extra barrel, suppressor, a red dot. So I was kind of used to red dots on handguns, but just having that feeling for all those years of airsoft just put me immediately to a Glock. Dude, I know this gun. I know how it works. I know exactly how it feels. I know the grip angle because they're different. So yeah, it took me about 6 months to learn how to shoot, 2.5 years to get better. And Glocks is always my favorite for sure.
Cool.
They just work.
Yeah. So part of the whole reason why these kits, these home target kits that Kid Ray's doing now, it's twofold. It's one, you can get proficient with a pistol at home for recreational shooting, for airsoft, for if you want to get into real shooting competition. But there's a section of gun ownership that is becoming more, people are becoming more aware of now, and it's home defense. And Daniel mentioned to us that he has 3S's that correlate exactly to home defense. And this is something, a very serious topic that I think everybody should know. Yeah, you want to elaborate on the 3S's for us?
Yeah, so 3S's would be shape, shine, silhouette. So what I mean by shape, shine, silhouette, are fast, but those are the three things that can get you killed. Whether you're playing airsoft, paintball, if you're at home, if you're out in the tactical world, these three little tips will kind of help you. So shape, you can always tell a body shape. You generally know that over a dog or over a tree or over something like that. The shape of a person, especially at night, can get you caught up. So if you're, say, like at your house and you know what your house looks like, you know your back windows and all that stuff. If there's somebody standing outside that back window, you know, okay, that's not normal. I don't see that very often. That would be your first shape. That's something that'll give you away. So that's something to look forward to too. So if you know your house, you know your area, always look at the shapes that you're used to. If you see something odd, immediately attract your attention right to that. So that'd be shape. Shine is, let's say you're out and you're shooting, or you're in your house. It could be two different kinds of shines. Say like sun's out, you're wearing something kind of shiny. If somebody's looking for you and they see that shine, that'll give you away. You see it on a scope, they see it on a piece of clothing, like a necklace or something. Anything the sun can bounce off of, that's easily attracted to. That's another thing that'll give you away. So shine would be another one.
Yeah.
If you're in your house and you use your flashlight, you flick that on. Now I know, okay, I saw that flashlight over there. I'm going that way. So sometimes flashlights can be good. They can be bad. So when you're in your house, especially when it comes to shape, is stay low. Because a lot of people know what a body looks like, because everybody, when you walk around a house, you're looking straight up. You're not looking down. At night, it's easier to look up. If you're a little bit lower, you can look up and actually see. Go outside tonight, look at something you can't see, crouch down and look up, and you'll be able to see it. It's kind of weird how your eyes will play tricks on you with that. So that'd be shape and shine. Silhouette is mainly shadows.
Right.
If you're outside in the shadow, especially for like airsoft, you know you can see a shadow move. If you ever see a shadow move, direct your attention exactly to that. People don't realize the sun's at the back of them, and it gives them away before they can even get around a corner. So that'd be more for an outside thing. So that would be my shape, shine, silhouette, those three things that you should pay attention to, and they can get you jacked up.
Yeah, so this is one small topic in a whole grab bag of home defense topics. I mean, you can take tons of home defense courses and go over so many different aspects. But I've been to a couple myself, and Daniel can attest that having a plan of action is probably one of the number one things. And that's something as simple as, hey, know where to go if, tell the rest of your family where to go, where to meet, where to convene, where to not go, and have some sort of plan of action ahead of time. And, just being prepared, there's no substitute for it. Yeah, so for me, I don't know how common it is, but I have a go bag, which is, it's a backpack full of, regular supplies, important documents, emergency supplies. It's like a 20-liter backpack. Yeah.
You gotta have one.
It's a start. It's to have something to throw on your back, go out and ready. Daniel, what do you got, man? You gotta shit hit the fan.
I have a go bag. I have a go bag, a get home bag, a go somewhere temporarily bag. I have like a couple different ones. And for me, living a single life, I don't have to worry about anybody. So, I mean, the minimum is you want to have like 3 days of food, medical supplies, alcohol if you need it for even drinking or for sanitizing, whatever the heck. But yeah. You gotta do it. Whatever. But yeah, I have a bunch of bags. It's gonna happen, especially nowadays with all this virus stuff going on. You never know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Earthquakes.
Yeah, that too, man. We get that here. Daniel, could you do some show and tell with some of the gear you compete with, just so viewers have a idea of what a competition rifle and pistol looks like?
Yeah. So I guess I'll start with my pistol first. know if you guys can see that well, but Glock 4, it's all nice and gold and pretty. It's got a Vortex razor on top, red. A lot faster than iron sights, especially if you have bad eyes. These are really quick. They're really durable, easy to shoot. But yeah, this is a whole Glock Store custom Glock 34. I have like 22 round mags. I have a 2-pound trigger in here, gold barrel, a little bit gold parts. This is my main pistol handgun when I'm using it in 3-gun or like USPSA. This is my main go-to. They're super reliable, easy to shoot, easy to maintain. Like they like running dirty. But it's pretty badass. I still have a lot more to do to this thing, to be honest. Like I got to do a lot of frame work. I haven't even shot it with this new slide on there yet. But I'm gonna add a bunch of weight to this thing to make it about 20 ounces heavier.
So I want to bring up something. So KWA's ATP SE, it's the full auto version of our ATP. Essentially, it's comparable to like the Glock 18. But one of the features on the ATP SE is a ported barrel. Now, for airsoft, ported barrels don't really do that much. Could you explain to the viewer what a ported barrel on your 34 actually does? Actually, the barrel's not ported. The slide is cut. It has a ring. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I mean, you could get a ported barrels help too in the real world, because this one, Glock's thing with the Glock 34 is they cut out this extra weight right here because it makes it the same exact weight as a Glock 17. So it's a little bit lighter. Yeah, it's a little bit lighter. It still recoils pretty fast. It's actually, if you get a little bit more cuts in here, the recoil will be a lot more tamer because it's still faster enough to cycle. Yeah. But yeah, that's what they did. They cut here just to make this same weight as a 17, so it feels the same when you're shooting it. But if you actually have ports in your barrel, so if you get little holes cut into your barrel, that'll help with muzzle rise, because you think, the gas is going to go up. Instead of the gun kicking up on you, it's going to stay down every time you shoot with the ports. Because once that bullet goes across, kicks the gas down. So when you shoot, it basically just comes right back down. But yeah, that's what they cut that thing out for. And ports do help. Unfortunately, not in airsoft, but in real life, you could tell. Like the gun doesn't move every time; it stays right there.
Yeah. So it's a lot flatter shooting.
Yeah, exactly. But don't shoot it at night; you'll go blind. So pistol optics, you're going to want something a little bit smaller, something that's clear, has a nice glass, and that's all you see. Anything too big can kind of distract you. But like use a small little pistol optic. When it comes to pistol optics on a real one, you generally want to spend like at least $200. If you spend anything kind of cheaper, things can go wrong. Like your zero will go off. So your zero meaning like if I'm shooting at something, I keep on shooting, and then the dot starts moving and my shots start getting way off, you lose your zero, which some red dots can't handle the kick of these things. So spend at least $200 and get a good pistol optic that's rugged. Like I said, I use Vortex because they have like the VIP warranty, no questions asked. Break it, shoot it on accident, and they'll seriously replace it. Like those guys are legit. But that's what I use. I use Vortex for sure, even on my rifle.
Yeah, so for those of you who've never shot with pistol optics, so the weird thing about pistol optics versus rifle optics is with rifle optics, normally rifle optics, you can flip down your sights, your backup sights, and you don't have to see your iron sights or your backup sights in your optic. Different for pistol optics is since you can't stow or you can't fold or you can't hide your pistol optics, you have to do what's called a co-witness. Right? And what a co-witness is you're going to see both your sights, but you're also going to place your dot on top of your sights. I'll let Daniel explain a little bit better how that works.
Yeah, so suppressor height sights. This gun has no sights. I don't put irons when it comes to my carry out the gun. But it is, don't do what I do. But it's good to have suppressor height sights. The suppressor height sights, they're a lot taller than normal. They don't sit the low height because the main thing with suppressor heights is, for one, when you actually punch out and you look at your target, those sights are a really good reference for you to start off. And generally, if you look at those, immediately your dot should be there, at least on top of the front of the suppressor height. Another thing is if this thing dies, because batteries can be the death of you sometimes, if it dies, breaks, no matter what, you still have those iron sights. So it's always good to have suppressor height sights with the red dot. And like I said, they're taller, just because this optic sits higher. So your normal sights you wouldn't even be able to see because this optic would be right in the way. So the suppressor heights is basically a co-witness. Your dot matches up with your sights so that you can always be looking at the same thing the entire time. They work pretty well. But my gun, I never use the sights, so I always take them off. They actually cut my red dot into the rear sight because I don't use irons with the competition gun. In like my carry gun, yeah, I have irons because that's the one I know it's for like defense, so I'll have suppressor heights. But this one says the comp that then I'm really screwed. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see.
Yeah. There's a couple videos online that kind of, I think it's 6 Hours Academy that kind of goes over how, because the problem people have with pistol red dot sights is they chase the red dot. And what that means is now you're looking at your pistol and you're just trying to find the red dot. And it's called chasing. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing they always tell you is always line up your irons first, and then the red dot will follow your irons.
Exactly.
And it's kind of hard to explain it without actually seeing it, but if you do end up going that route and upgrading your pistol to an optic, it just, again, it's another thing to learn. It's another thing to practice. So Daniel, we saw your pistol. Can you show us your rifle and kind of the components you have on it and why you chose it and what it benefits in a competition? And maybe like what would you suggest to a new shooter? What should they feel for in the rifle?
Okay. So this is my main baby. See if you guys can get in the light, but this is my Foxtrot FM9.
That's sweet.
Gotta give it a little scoop across so you guys can check it out. Big ass magwell. We got the M-Lock rail. Side charger on the front.
Oh, fancy.
Yep, gotta get that fanciness in there.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll start from the front to the back. So I use a 3-port comp. It's got 3 on the side, 3 on the top. Because for a lot of 9mm, they have a lot more kick than an AR-15 will. So these comps do help. A lot of people say they don't, but they do, especially on the sides. If you have a comp that just has a top port, like it'll actually start dipping your gun down when you shoot.
Yeah.
So that's never really good for like your second follow-up shot. So I always have one with 3 on the side and 3 on the top because it'll balance it basically the best. But this is the Foxtrot mic FM9. I use Vortex, so you can see there's 2 little red dots there. One on the side, one on the top. This one is basically how a lot of airsoft know it as a T1 from Aimpoint, which is pretty nice one too. But this is the Vortex Spark AR. This one on the side is the Vortex Venom. I mainly have two optics because this is a 3 MOA red dot, so it's got a little bit more crisp, a little bit smaller red dots. So it's like for more of my distance shots or more precise shots. This is my main go-to. This one's got a 6 MOA, so it's a little bit bigger. That's about the size you want for a pistol one too. But it's a 6 MOA, so basically if I'm shooting like paper close, all I do is use the bigger dot and I can go a lot faster. This is on an actual 45 mount, so it's on the side. It's made from Daniel Defense. Their stuff's super solid. Like, I love their stuff, so especially the 45 mount, it literally mounts right up to the optic. I use a big magwell. You can see that big old thing because funneling mags through that. It's a lot easier if you just get your mag anywhere it goes in, kind of thing. Just wherever it hits, it's going to hit. It can hit upwards and still guide itself in. So magwells help for reloading. So like when we do like a lot of fast reloads or reload stage, these things help.
Yeah.
When it comes to trigger, I use a CMC, a flat face trigger. I don't know if that'll help you guys see it a little bit, but
yeah,
it's a flat trigger. They're super light, like they're 2.5 pounds. It's empty, but they're 2.5 pounds, like a little small pull. It goes right off. So these triggers are really fast. They're robust. It's a drop-in trigger too. So all you do is take out all the pins, take out your trigger, literally drop this thing in, put it in 2 pins, you're done. Yeah. And then I use the Strike Industries fixed stock. You can adjust it. You adjust the length with their extensions they put on there. Really legit. But when it comes to a rifle, it's just like find the features you want. I like side charging. This gun was kind of made for like a suppressor host. That's why there is no back rear charger. You see in the light there. There's nothing here that to charge off of because in suppressors, a lot of the blowback will come out of the actual charging handle. So the company designed these with a side charger. So this is what manipulates the bolt. I personally like this feature too because if I ever get a jam, I don't have to come all the way back here, lose my sights see what's going on and throw it back. I can look really quick up here, just like, oh, okay, so nothing happened. So it kicks the round out, my hand's right back up to where it needs to go. Yeah. So it's a lot faster. Instead of me having to come back and go up, I can just do it up here and get it all done with. But so it's mainly all features. It's like, what do you want? Do you like a heavy gun? Do you like a light gun? For me, I personally like heavy guns because I'd rather tame the recoil as much as I can. Some guys like to move around faster. They want light guns, but you'll feel a little bit more recoil. So it's all personal preference. So many guns, so many colors, so many accessories, especially these. Like, as you guys know, these are like the Legos of gun worlds. Like, you can do whatever you want to this. It's ridiculous, like, what you can do to these things. But that's my favorite kind of gun.
Yeah.
That's why I like the LM4 is. I'm like, dude, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. I can shoot in my backyard.
Yeah, awesome.
Gas rifles all the way.
Hey, Daniel. Another question that I have as a, my biggest fear is if I somehow like need to use my gun and I don't put my bullet in right or whatever, and then it blows up my hand. Like, that's honestly, going into shooting, like, that's my biggest fear. What can you tell me to prevent myself from letting that happen?
Practice with your gun, especially clearing jams. So if you want to do something at home, buy some of these little fake rounds. They're called snap caps.
Oh, yeah.
These are see-through. So what I do, even at the range, so these are see-through. They have a little spring at the bottom, so you can hit it all you want with any kind of gun. It won't mess up your firing pin, won't mess up your hammer, won't mess up anything. So these little things, practice jams at home. So whenever that time does happen, you already know what the jam is. So like sometimes if your gun doesn't go all the way to the battery, so that means if your slide is not even just a little bit off, you'll hear a click maybe, but nothing will happen. If you hear that, you know, okay, what the heck was that? Try to rack it out, figure out what's going on. Like, oh, I'm actually empty. Okay. So practice jams. So when it comes to every single scenario, you know what your gun's going to do. Like, I know when this gun is empty. I know when there's a squib in there, so that means there's no powder. I can hear this. I hear a little sound. It's different. You'll know all these different kinds of jams. But when you're at home, literally practice. But that's what I'll do at the range with these little things is I'll put this little fake round in my magazine somewhere. I won't load and I won't look, so I'll never know when it's going to happen. So when a jam does happen, I know to, like, okay, make sure that the mag's seated, pull back the slide, and shoot again. If nothing happens again, I'm like, okay, crap. There's only one thing that happened. There's nothing in the mag. So always, like, practice. If you learn every single type of jam you're going to have, you'll know how to clear them out. So if anything does happen under stress, you'll be good.
Good to know.
So I do want to emphasize something a little important, and it's something Daniel mentioned when malfunction. So for those of you that don't know what a squib load is, a squib load is a round that doesn't push the projectile all the way out of your bullet. And what can happen is if there's not enough powder to push it all the way out, you can actually get a projectile or a bullet stuck in your barrel. So you do got to listen to the audio cues of what all your rounds sound like. And again, if you practice this and you hear a squib load, you will know it sounds different, and you should stop and inspect your barrel the proper way. And the whole reason for that is so if I have a projectile, a bullet that gets lodged in my barrel and it doesn't shoot out, if another round chambers and I fire, that 2 bullet impacts can actually hit in your barrel, and that's going to cause a catastrophic failure with your pistol. And in competition shooting, it happens all the time because competitive shooters are always loading their own reloads or their own ammunition, and any miscalculation of your grains in your bullet could potentially be a disaster. Daniel, have you seen any of those in your competitions?
Oh yeah, they're evil little suckers. I hate them. Like, if it's in your pistol, it's the worst because that's just such a small barrel for all that pressure to go nowhere but everywhere.
Right.
So like I've had my old Glock frame, but I've had a squib. So like he was saying, like when a squib happens, there's not enough powder. The round doesn't leave the barrel. It's stuck there somewhere. And unless you know that sound and you load another round, now you just caused a big gap or you basically just blocked everything up. So when it shoots, it might have enough powder that time, and it's going to blow up everything. It can blow out your barrel. From my Glock, what happened was it actually shot out my mag. It blew the mag in pieces, so like the base plate and everything. It had so much pressure. It shot the base plate out, shot the spring out. This whole side of the lower blew up. Like this whole thing was cracked and exploded. The finger grooves were literally gone.
Yeah.
It just had so much pressure downwards. It blew this thing, and I just immediately just dropped it out of my hand, just let it go.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that actually happened. The second time, and yeah, it's scary because you don't know. Like you're trying to go fast, you hear a beep, and then it just blows up. Like it's just some weird, itty bitty little sound. Second time was in my rifle, but with 9mm, it's 9mm rifles. It's kind of weird because a lot of the pressure goes backwards. These are blowback guns. They're not gas guns where it cycles the gas like an AR-15. Power comes straight back. So even if it had just a little bit less of powder, it would have still kicked out the shell, even though the bullet was right here. You can't. It's a little bit different. You can't really hear it that much. So the first time it happened, same thing. One round went through. Second one went right behind it, but went nowhere. It actually blew out my barrel, and you could see a crack on each side of the barrel. Same thing. Shot my magazine out. Blew the magazine to pieces. But yeah, it's happened. It was weird because it happened twice in one day with my rifle. Anyways, it was this ammo company that I was using, and apparently that stuff was just terrible. But yeah, the first time blew up. I borrowed my buddy's gun. He's like, "Don't blow up my rifle." And I'm like, "Yeah, right, shut up." And then I go out, and then same thing. It just blows up. I'm like, okay.
So can this happen with my airsoft training pistol or rifle as well?
I mean, it can. If you have it can. Like I've had a bunch of BBs get stuck in like a bucking one time, or like down the barrel. Especially if you don't clean your barrel. Like if you don't actually clean it, get a bunch of stuff gunked up. You just stuffed it in the dirt. You can have a bunch get clogged, and you'll hear it, especially in airsoft. It sounds different. You could tell that loud sound's not there anymore. You just hear thunk, 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 because they're all just getting stuck behind each other. It's happened to me in airsoft. It's from not cleaning my barrel and having such a tight bore, like a 6.01 or something like that.
Right.
Okay.
Like type 4. Yeah, that's all I got. Tom, what do you got, man?
Well, going into coming into this, my biggest goal is to understand, like, from a professional shooter's point, and I know Thomas asked you this earlier, like, what would you do for training at home? Now, what we have with this kit, we have either people could get 3 of these, 6 of these, or 12 of these. What's something that you could tell me or some of these guys that have these kits? What can we do to start off?
To play with them, there's a lot you can do with those little kits. Especially if you have a family member or somebody living in the house, just give them all 6 or 12. Like, hey, go hide these throughout the house. Start clearing your house, and every time you see one, shoot it. That's what I would do. Like, I think those little things are fun. If you want to get competition shooting, use it as a plate rack. Set up all 6 about an inch, maybe 2 away from each other. Use it as a plate rack. Get used to the repetition of shooting and moving. Don't stop and shoot. Take your time and keep moving. Keep shooting. Don't ever stop shooting. If you can get that speed down when it transitions to real life, you already have that kind of dry fire practice done in your head. So especially if you have 12, have somebody hide them throughout the house and go clear your house and have some.
So to monitor like my improvement, what should I be looking out for?
Your reaction time. How fast can you shoot them down? That would be a good thing to practice. Like the faster you can get them down, the better. Like because even in shooting, like in airsoft, when you're getting shot at somebody, the faster you can pop out and shoot them, or if you know they're hiding and you can keep them right there, the faster you shoot them right when you see them, the better. Work on, so like I said, the plate rack thing too. So first, work on your actual getting your target, pull that thing out as fast as you can, shoot your target. But when it comes, if you want to get down to speed and transition, do the plate rack scenario. That could be 6 different little things set up right next to each other. That'll work on you moving and shooting the entire time. Because like I said, if you take your time shooting 1, 2, 3, it's a lot slower as opposed to us guys who go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know to keep moving and we know the same distance. But this is all repetition. Work on your accuracy first, to go saying, then work on speed, and then acquisition. How fast can you get that thing out? That's where the shot timer will come in and help too. There's even shot timers on everybody's phone. If you guys go to your app stores, there's a little shot timer, which is actually best for airsoft because the actual real ones, the decibel, even if you have it on the highest setting, it still won't pick up some airsoft. Yeah. So get the one on your phone, and that one will work fine. But Practice acquisition. How fast can you draw that thing out and shoot? If you're at 2 seconds, try to work it at 1.9, then 1.8, then 1.7. Just keep on practicing. Like, no matter what we do, like, we're all professional sponsored because we practice. Like, I shoot every single weekend for the past 4 years straight. I put my heart and soul to it. When I'm not shooting, I'm here playing with my airsoft gun, shooting that at the house. Like, practice everything you possibly can. Like, accuracy, speed, acquisition, repetition, muscle memory, everything. Once you learn that gun, it'll be like another ligament on you. You already know how it all works.
So this tidbit of information is going to blow your mind. But Daniel, tell everybody when you're training for a competition, how many rounds are you going through in a range session or in a weekend?
Oh, Jesus. Okay. This is not. So, airsofters, if you want to get into this game, it ain't cheap. Okay. It's super fun. You can never have as much fun shooting a real gun this fast. It's super fun, but it's kind of expensive. So,
how much?
Every day I practice, I go through 500 rounds. That's $215.
Wow. $215 for 500 rounds of 9mm, and that's a day.
Sorry, no, I'm wrong. That's for 1,000. So
okay, yeah,
I cut that in half.
1,000. Yeah,
cut that in half. So it's about like 100-ish bucks, 125 to shoot 500 rounds a day, and that's not plus your emission.
That's a day, right? A day. So imagine you're at home practicing with airsoft, and you got 5,000 rounds BBs for $20.
That works.
You can't. You can't beat it.
5,000. Like, how many reps can you get in with 5,000 rounds? I wouldn't even want to shoot at the end of the day. I'm like, oh my god, it's enough. But no, 5,000 for $20. Like, that's why it's so much cheaper to shoot those things, especially when you're at home. It's just way better, and you can shoot in your backyard and not go to jail.
Yeah, I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna try to do 500 BBs, shoot 500 BBs a day, and see where that gets me.
500, yeah, there you go. Dude, you'll start getting some muscle strength.
Yeah, and my forearms are gonna be freaking gigantic. Yeah, and then same with gas and BBs. That's all I got. Tom, what do you got, man?
No, I just really wanted to see what he could tell me to get started. So there you have it, everyone at home. Please, listen, rewind to what he just said. Set up targets around the house. Practice your reaction time, practice your emotions. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to challenge a couple of people that are chronicling their progress with our kids. I'm going to challenge them to do that. And, maybe we'll get Daniel back on and he could evaluate some of your performances.
Yeah.
Whenever you guys want to do it, let's do it.
Awesome. So Daniel, we got one more thing, and I think I already know the question. We know the answer, but one of the things we're asking everybody on our video chat is, are you wearing pants right
now? No. No, I am. I'm just kidding.
Okay. All right. So we're two wearing pants.
We're gonna catch someone one day. We're gonna catch someone.
We're gonna catch someone wearing boxers or boxer briefs, and we're gonna point them out. But hey, Daniel, thanks for coming with us, man. Hope to see you soon. And you want to shout out any of your companies that sponsor you, or anyone you want to say what's up to?
Yeah. So thank you guys first for having me. Appreciate it. Love the guns and everything. But yeah, if you guys will check out my sponsors, my optic sponsor is Vortex Optics. Trigger sponsor is CMC. My belt sponsor and pouches is from Tough Products. I also shoot for Pro Shot cleaning products. And I also shoot for Redbeard targets. They make a lot of steel locally. And Glock Store. Glock Store is definitely my godsend. Those are my favorite guys. They help me a lot. They hook me up on guns and ammo, all kinds of cool stuff. But if you want a Glock, check it out. Go to the Glock Store. If you guys want to follow me, what I'm doing, you can go to my Instagram. I use that the most. I'm not really into Facebook. But mine's called at The Life of Wolf. So it's just The Life of Wolf, just common spelling, WOLF. You guys can follow me, see what I'm doing, all that stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, and if you haven't checked out Glock Store in San Diego, it is a destination. I mean, you could spend the whole day checking out that place. Is it true they're moving? Lenny's moving the store?
No, he opened another one in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, he opened another one. Okay. Man,
second.
must be nice. Glock Store.
I know. I was like, take me with you, Lenny. Like, let me get a job over there.
All right. Cool.
Well, hey, Daniel,
Cool, appreciate
the
it.
time, man. Really appreciate it. And to everyone at home, hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. I'll have Daniel's information description as well. Check him out. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.